Alright, so I believe this is a list from a classic over the weekend or a challenge event. It's not my deck list. Viewer submitted list. Someone submitted a deck list that did well in a tournament, so no credit to anybody other than the person that played it here. Who played it? I don't know. Offhand, I didn't write it down. I sold my Kiki cards and Coco cards and built Tron. Does this mean I fall into the dark side? Listen, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right? That's how this works. Well, so I only have a little desk upstairs, so I actually can't fit a third monitor onto this setup. I would show you the setup, but Christy's got crap all over this desk, and I don't want to show you how gross it is. Moto's not old enough to drink. It's only like 16 or 17. I guess in some countries that's old enough to drink. Yeah, honestly, so like, while I'm not a huge fan of just a generic CCG model in general, one of the upsides to the CCG model is that, like, when cards spike in price, in paper, that doesn't happen online as well, right? So, like, you're not, you don't, if you miss the boat on a new deck, you can still pick that deck up for the same prices before it took off, right? A single 22-inch 11-year-old monitor. That sounds very sad. I would love to keep this. It needs a 2-drop and a couple of lands, but definitely got an okay curve here. Playing against Black Lotus, who's gold ranked. Oh, mine actually blocks, my overlay here blocks out their name. That's probably a good thing, actually. Yeah, the Pirates deck seemed really awesome. On the play here, too. Sounds great for us. I have no idea what's going on with the ranks in this game. I don't believe they have any meaning right now, other than they try and pair you into people that are, like, similar, right? So this is an interesting question. Am I... Wow! Okay, I was gonna say, am I, Oh, this is a creature. I thought this was the removal spell. Weird. Okay, good to know. Well, that would have been good if we'd hit a land there. This card curving into Tajic is, like, really, really good. That has double strike. Christy plays Dungeons & Dragons downstairs with some of her friends on Wednesday night, so I kind of have the night free to myself once the kids go to bed. Alright, don't Ritual of Soot me, baby. Oh, I didn't update the Stream Decker, did I? I will update the Stream Decker. Oh, and it flips that too? This is so good for us. This is a strong curve. Listen, chat. Listen, chat. At some point, we'll know, okay? Yeah, bye, friend. Update. Stream Decker. It looks like they're playing a control deck. I probably don't mind a Johnny existing. Although Lightning Strike's probably good. Justice Strike's probably a little bit awkward in this matchup. It doesn't line up well into... what's it called? It does not line up well into Thorn Lieutenant. I'm going to trim the Dauntless Bodyguards for now. Just, like, not 100% sure what they're doing. It could be that Ixalan's Binding, even Fight with Fire are good here. Maybe even Dawn of Hope. This card really grinds, too. But before I see more of what they're doing, I don't know, like, how mid-rangey or how aggressive their deck is. They had Land War Elves in their deck, so there's a good chance they could be more aggressive. That just had, like, a clunky draw. And, like, a Johnny's a card where it can grind a little bit, but also just, like, allows us to be aggressive too here. So if they end up being more aggressive, I think I'm fine with the Johnny's. I've definitely built, I've built a couple of more mid-range green-black decks that still leverage Land War Elves, because Land War Elves is just, like, a good card for playing your stuff out ahead of curve, right? I think, like I said, I think the Ajani's a pretty, like, low cost of inclusion because, like, it's reasonable even if they're not aggressive. Pretty easy mulligan here. This is a deck list that did well at a tournament over the weekend. So real or meme could still be yet to be decided, but it's probably pretty reasonable. It's like good strong aggro cards on curve. First game we played, we ran them OVER. Swiftblade Vindicator plus Aurelia, also very, very good. Knight of Grace is really good here. Hexproof from black. This is a great way to make, hexproof from black is just like so much better than protection from black. I just like can't even put into words how much better design it is. It's very, very good from a gameplay perspective. Allows for a lot more interactivity. Things that are more interactive tend to be better in my opinion. Well, I guess I'm smashing. We're like trading 3 for 3 here. What? I guess they wanted in the bin their gruesome menagerie deck, so like they're setting up for a menagerie here. That makes sense. Okay. If we get a red source here, we'll keep playing Magic. If we break on a land, I'll probably pack it in. Little bit of resource variance. So maybe they're more mid-rangey. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. I think the Ajanis are pretty reasonable. Ajani like a Tajic curved into a Ajani is just like very, very good, especially on the play. Evening Chimera. This is a curve. If we had an untapped white source in our first 2 draws, this hand's insane. An untapped white source or Tajic, and we're just gonna probably run them over. I might have played a game or 2 with this deck off stream before I fired up tonight. This deck is kind of sweet. What's going on, JMM? Yeah, I've been enjoying Standard 2. Format seems really awesome. Tajic would even let us flip Legion's Landing this next turn, which would be absurd. Thanks, Chimera. We did okay. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what Guild Mage form does offhand. Alright, I guess we'll just go ahead and kill this. Boop. Boop him right on the nose. Little boop boop. Feels a little bad. They don't have a lot going on either, though, so we got that going for us. What's going on, Tremolos? Get another token here. Mentor, for those that haven't seen it before, it has to be another attacking creature, so if I play that out pre-combat, I don't get to do that. Chupacabra, yep. That's awesome. Yeah, the token storm list was really sweet. Do I want to just get this going? I think I'd rather power up the history a bit. Although, if I jam this, I can attack with both my tokens, which is kind of appealing. And, like, Aurelia is a lightning rod, right? So, if Aurelia gets Doombladed, then, like, Lyra's more likely to live, which is nice. I assume we're going to see them trade here. And, like, that trade's pretty decent for me, too, because it means my one that's permanently larger stays alive here. Because when they start playing Dungeons & Dragons, the kids are still awake. So, the reason why I don't start streaming until 8:30 is because I'm waiting for the kids to go to bed. We don't want to get a sitter for D&D. You have 2 cards left, so, like, double... Our hand's very good here. It's just, like, double history into Lyra. Brutal. I guess it depends on how these explorers go. Hopefully whatever these explorers end up doing, our Night Trolls will be able to attack in. Branch Walker, so I assume that's going away. Branch Walker, I assume. Oh, weird. Okay. I'm just gonna jam another history here. Might as well just attack now, right? Because, like, they're still gonna be able to trade next turn, because these only be 4/3s when they attack, so, like, trading now and trading later is, like, about the same. This doesn't give haste, right? It gives trample and vigilance. Yeah, I think I'm just trading here. This only gives trample if it's red, so yeah. Wait on the attack to flip our enchantment. That's probably a good suggestion. I didn't think about that. Ugh. Oh, why is Fighting Fidelity so good? Why is it so good, chat? Why is it just unbelievably good? Good gosh. Alright, so this, I can intervention and kill the 3/2 here, so my 4/3 can attack it at least. There's too many Chupacabras, chat. The Chupacabra is hungry. And angels and knights are Alright, that's gonna be all she wrote. Yeah, they still have a Chupacabra in hand. So, it's funny because Standard has been so bad for so long. Like, I'm someone who's preferred Modern for a long time, but if we're being completely honest with ourselves, Modern has a lot of really terrible games of Magic, right? Like, there are so many games of Magic in Modern where just, like, one player doesn't do anything, or the matchup's just, like, so lopsided that you just, like, don't even really get to play. And, I really, like, I've said this before on stream, but it's been a while since we had it. Good Standard formats are just, like, so much better than basically anything else you could imagine. As far as, like, quality gameplay is concerned. Sorry, I'm just updating the Stream Decker really quick here. How about good limited formats? I personally don't care for limited. I think having variance in my deck quality is not something that I find that I enjoy. Hey, Jamis, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine with that. Welcome. I'm not going to be on super late tonight. I'm planning to do about another 45 minutes to an hour or so. Probably wrap up about 11. Why was Ixalan miserable? What cards out of Ixalan? Ixalan were not well designed? Is this the same person we just played against? The Blue-Black Pyrotech was really awesome. The core idea there was pretty reasonable, and I feel like we made some meaningful changes that were decent. I just noticed how arena interfaces that are not great if... Just noticed how arena's interface are not that great if you need to come in. How is that true? What's wrong with arena's interface and having to integrate chat? I actually think arena's interface is like really great because it doesn't have a bunch of dead screen space like we have on Magic Online. Like Magic Online is very poor about using horizontal screen space. I think Cage is better against dedicated graveyard decks, but Spellbomb's much better in matches, in a variety of matchups like Mardu Pyromancer. There's like more value-based graveyard matchups. I personally would prefer if you got a frame so none of the screen is covered by chat. I really don't like that. I'd rather just have my stuff over the small parts of the game window that don't really have useful information on them for you all, rather than like shrink down the gameplay. Because like the cards in play are the things that people really care about. So like by putting that overlay over the screen and like taking out basically a third of the screen, I'm like getting rid of a third of, I'm making what you care about a third smaller. The only reason I have it off to the side on Magic Online is because Magic Online doesn't use horizontal screen space anyways. Alright, well, we don't have a red source, but we've got like stuff in play, so we've got that going for us. Alright, a Johnny and Dawn of Hope are things to grind against control. I'm gonna cut these strikes. I'm gonna cut these Justice strikes. Integrity's probably actually okay because it can like counter red removal on our creatures, which is kind of decent for us. Ixalan's Binding and Sorcerous Spyglass are probably good for the Planeswalker Experimental Frenzies. Probably here for grinding a little bit too. Probably want to pull up on the curve a touch. This is probably kind of hard to flip over. 60. Johnny. I always miss getting cards in. The problem with putting the chat down below me here is this is where the stack goes, whereas off to the left over there, or the left side of the screen, it just covers up like some lands. Yeah, the deck building and sideboarding UI leaves a lot to be desired, especially coming from Magic Online. I agree with that assessment. I mean, I haven't. Let me pull up the mana base. Like again, like people that are just like watching these games and going, the mana base sucks. Like, don't do that. Stop it. Don't be dumb. Go do math. The way you figure out if your mana base is good is you do math. You don't just like watch 2 games of Magic. So this mana base has 13 red sources in it. So I agree that the mana base probably leaves a little bit to be desired, and we might change it after this match. But again, I came to that conclusion by doing math, not by just like beating on my chest and like talking about how lucky or unlucky we are. Yeah, it's 13. I agree that 13 is a touch low. Deck probably wants a couple of Boros Guild Gates, honestly. I just history here while this is guaranteed to resolve. More, 17 red is probably not possible, while still keeping a high point of white consistency. At least not without playing that many duels. From a flavor standpoint, seemed really good. I thought limited was awkward. I don't care about limited. My comment regard to Amonkhet Excellent Standard should have been Should have added Kaladesh with all the energy cards and Scarab God. Alright, so... Am I just playing this out? I think I'm just playing this out. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna kick. I'm gonna add 1 to 2 Boros garrisons to the mana base, or Boros guild gates to the mana base. At least 1. I'm gonna cut at least a Planesword guild gate after this match. That is rude. Hopefully, here's to drawing an untapped land here, so we can binding that. Tilt. Looks like don't have good place here. Or just like locks this out. I think the extra line of text is pretty good. I think, like, exiling their Teferi and then, like, making sure more Teferis don't come down is quite fantastic. This card, Integrity Intervention's a card that's really been sweet for me in these white-red based aggressive decks. I had a Naya deck I poked around with a little bit too at one point. Anyway. I would like to avoid that one, please. Smash with the squad.
It's kind of pretty.
It's very pretty.
How come that one is...
Oh, this is a token. So, we're dead? I think we're dead, right?
I pushed an innocent person into a fire.
That sounds really rude.
Yeah. But it wasn't my fault. The rest of the team was hurting first, and I was just hoping.
Whoa, way to cave to peer pressure. Alright, I think I do this.
To be fair, we thought it was a were-rat. I mean, technically it was a were-rat. It was just a nice were-rat.
We're probably just dead to the Snip Visit here. This and decks like this are what made the Jeskai decks and other control decks with sweepers so good week 1.
It is. It's a T-Rex that's roaring a rainbow. He's saying roar rainbow.
Oh, look at that completely reasonable and beatable Magic the Gathering card. What a completely reasonable and beatable Magic the Gathering card.
A roar bow, yep.
All right.
It is an amazing shirt.
Let's kick the mana up in here really quick. This is probably a bad deck to be playing. We've run into a lot of control playing online. Feel like people are kind of sick of playing aggressive decks, so they're like, the format slowed down a little bit, so they're enjoying it.
I have had this shirt for approximately 15 years now.
15 years?
Nah, maybe more like 12. But I'm gonna see if it still exists on the website I got it from.
This is a pretty rancid deck to be playing if people are going to be playing, like, you know, Anger of the Gods type cards. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what that... Is it Deafening Clarion? Is that what that sweeper's called? Adonto Vanguard's not a terrible suggestion. It's a card that lets you survive some of the sweepers. I haven't played Arena. What's the gold for? Event entry and buying booster packs. Yeah, freshly rotated formats are always open. The answer to that question is always, like, after a Grand Prix, after a Pro Tour, like, does it stay that way is the real question.
The shirt does still exist on the website, but it only comes in V-neck, women's V-neck, or a tank top. And they're $35.
Well, this is definitely a keep, but I'm like, really wish I had an untapped white source on one. We're on the draw, so I suppose we could hit a Planeseer.
Message me if you need the deets. I don't feel like standing here, so I'm gonna go over here.
Love you.
Thank you. This looks like you and the boys had fun.
Then we did, yep. I cleaned up some, actually, believe it or not.
Did you tell the internet what Declan's favorite toy is these days? Stickin' paper.
Stickin' paper.
And tape.
And he did put tape everywhere.
He likes tape, like masking tape or washi tape, and he likes stickin' paper, aka post-it notes.
Soul Bad Guy, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support there. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine.
I'm a wizard.
You're a wizard, Hattie. Alright, so they neglected to attack with that. I feel like we're just going to run into another Doomblade here. I'll strike this, or lightning strike this, because Justice Strike could potentially kill a, well, I should do this during their upkeep, right, if I'm going to do this. Yeah, this sequencing is bad. I should wait till their upkeep, because I'm letting them use their mana to counterspell this right now. So my sequencing's a little bit medium here. Not punished, but I could have been. This deck is a lot less exciting than the previous, what's it called deck? The Pirates deck. Pirates deck was sweeter. He's dead, Jim. They're almost out of cards. Screw often beats Flood if you draw out of it soon enough. Bits for Abzan Autumn. Happy to see a late night stream. What's going on, Big Beanie Cap? Thanks for the support. What? Oh, they're in the other bed? Yep. They specifically requested that one, believe it or not. I had to clear it off.
I'm not surprised. They always like new things.
Our kids are on this kick where they like to sleep in a different bed basically every night. And like our guest room actually has 2 beds in it currently. So like last night they slept on one of the beds and this night they requested to sleep on the other one that actually had stuff all over it. They're funny. So definitely doing this. This is just like, this is a Space Jam turn. I think it's just a Space Jam turn. That one. I guess we're gonna see this get shot down. So they targeted Shivan Fire here, which I assume means this is about to eat it. Just eat it, eat it. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Am I gonna need to untap with an Aurelia? That would be so, that would be lit, fam. Is that how we do? Is that how the kids say it? It's lit, fam. She can target herself, right? Pretty sure. Blink of an eye. That is incredibly rude. Incredibly rude. I guess I can Justice Strike this Drake now, though, which is nice. And then smash. So, not all bad. And, like, we've got cards in play. They're down to 2 cards in hand. I've got 3 threats in my hand. So we're actually, like, in an okay spot here for the moment. Definitely not unlosable by any means, but I think we're a little bit ahead currently. Niv Mizzet would not be good for us, believe it or not. Get that sick animation value. Yep, he's dead, Jim. Smush. Lyra also has some synergies too. Like there's some like Boros Angels decks floating around, which are really sweet. That is a little annoying, but not the end of the world. Draws them a card, which is good for them. Alright, so this gives my other gal here lifelink. She is just gonna trade with this, but I think that's okay with me. Especially since I have another one down here. Got an ace in the hole. Yeah, budget standard, blue-red. If you haven't checked out the mono blue tempo deck we played the other day, that deck is absurdly cheap. It's got 4 rares in it. We actually have 2 different Angels decks in my donation queue, so we're gonna get to a couple of those eventually. Probably not till next week. Maybe over the weekend. Maybe some of my weekend bonus streams will be standard. I've really been enjoying both Arena and Standard. Yeah, the 4 rares are the Jin. So the Dauntless Bodyguard doesn't have lifelink like Lyra does, but I'd rather Ship and Fire, sure. Does die to Ship and Fire though. We did play Pirates already. We started with Pirates first this evening. Alright, all my eggs are in the basket. Your move. Yeah, definitely 7 crosses. 110%. I'm not sure what my weekend stream schedule is going to be like, but I will definitely be online at some point between Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow during the day and Friday during the day are going to be guaranteed modern. But I think any extra bonus streams I do are going to be standard for the foreseeable future. The Pirates deck was really awesome. I liked it a lot. This card seems awkward. I love Integrity against their red removal. I think this is good. This kills Niv and eventually kills their Crackling Drakes. Just like trim these Knights of Grace. They're like just like a 2/2 first striker in this matchup, right? Yeah, I've really been liking the standard format a lot from what I've played, and like what I saw Chris play over the weekend. Arena is also just like this kind of sweet video game, right? Fight with fire for Niv. Yeah, maybe that's better. Maybe I just like want a couple of those in there because it kills Crackling Drake too, right? Like Drake could be annoying to do battle with. Pretty easy mulligan here. I love this note that a good opening hand has multiple lands and spells. It's good. Good tips. I'm gonna keep the 3rd land. I think that's probably reasonable, especially with the Dawn I hope in the opener. You know, it's possible I'm supposed to leave on the Swiftblade Vindicator, so that way next turn I could go this with Integrity up. Hey, with the $5 donation from JMP, thanks for the support. I wished MTGO looked like this, not a fan of Standard, but always a fan of yours. Thank you. Thank you for the support. And yeah, this is like absurdly slick. Yeah, like, so the reason why I think I should have sequenced my creatures in a different way here is that it's much harder for me to protect this from red removal with Integrity than it is to protect something else. So my health total isn't really under pressure, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold this up so that way if they have like a Shock or a Shivan Fire, I can save this. It feels like they could have a Shock or a Shivan Fire here. Oh my god, Integrity. Do I still talk to any of the metery folks? It's been a while. I've not chatted with them recently. How am I liking Standard compared to Modern? The quality of gameplay in the current Standard format so far, from what I've experienced, is very, very enjoyable. While Modern has a lot of really good games of Magic, it also generates a lot of really polarizing games of Magic. It covers the spectrum really well. I think there's a lot of games of Magic that occur in Modern that I would classify as just like not good games, which is one of the reasons why we concede a lot of matches when we're playing, right? Like the matches I'm just like conceding are ones that just like are rotten games of Magic. Now, I think that's actually a crappy article topic, because people get defensive when you talk about stuff like that. And they just, like, cry that you're being subjective, even though that's the point of the article. Yeah, exactly, Spellweaver. A new non-rotating format will be less brutal than Modern, because there'll be less efficient cards, less aggressive cards in it, and there won't be fetch lands mucking it up. They have no slated plans to bring Arena to mobile. I also can't imagine, like, playing Arena on a screen this big sounds awful. I'm not sure why people would want to do that. I can barely play Magic on my 27-inch monitor. Like, playing it on a phone sounds really terrible. Alright, we have our first Swiftblade Tajic curve here, so if they can't interact there, we're going to be in a great spot. Hey, Marty, thanks for the support. Bump my Angels list, please. Will do. I'm not sure if you were here earlier, but I said I'm definitely going to get to more standard stuff this weekend, I think. Second Tajic, sign me up. Alright, A space smash face chat triggers. Pump them up. Pump up, bump up, the bump up, the jam. Pump up, the bump up, the bump up, the jam. Mark Rosewater is on record saying that a new non-rotating format is a when, not an if. So it's definitely going to happen at some point in the near future. I'm just going to keep pumping up the jam here because Tajic's going to make this into a 3/3 double striking trampler. Now we've played Arena and Standard a number of times in the last couple of weeks. The software is very good, and the Standard format is really sweet. So, like, Tajic's, like, traded for cards, and they made my Swiftblade Vindicator better, so I feel like they really did their job here. If they have the Conclave Tribunal here, I'm going to be a little bit sad, but they're at 8, so we can hopefully close out from here. I mean, you should just hang on to them. There's no like rush to use your rare wild cards. You might as well wait until you have something you want to do with them. Our mana being a little bit poop here again. Are they actually just like taking... Wow, that's good for us. Okay, deal. Okay. That is a lot of lifelinkers. What's going on, Emo? Yeah, got a little bit more here this evening. Into 1 or 2 more matches. I'm not sure that I'm a fan of this deck. I feel like we're like kind of a mid-range aggro deck, and it's like it's a really bad place to be in a format like this one, where there's a lot of people that are just like going bigger than you. Getting another first strike creature into play here is good against all of their 2/2s. It's funny too, because like I think this is the only one of the only decks we've played on stream so far that just like actually had a finish in a larger tournament. It's just like it's one of the ones that feels the worst. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable, Nuki. Like I said, when people are kind of starting to mid-range, being the deck that's smaller is generally not where you want to be in life. You generally want to be a little bit bigger than the other mid-range deck that you're going to be playing against. Yeah, we did Spellweaver, and actually we made some changes in between some matches at the end there. So but yeah, the pirate deck was sweet. It'll be up on YouTube later. It's uploading and processing now. Brutal. Just like can never win. I think I needed to hit the mana for History of Benalia like 2 turns ago. Or like last turn. It's a combination of the 2, Pulpski. It is a third-party add-on that someone wrote for Arena that integrates with Twitch extensions. It's gonna be all sure. All of the arena decks that I play are listed on in the video descriptions on my YouTube channel. So every deck that I play has the deck list listed in the video descriptions. So I'm not manually adding deck pages for standard decks to my website because standard just changes too often, so it's just like too much work for too little return. I guess I'm bringing in these 2 sweepers and just calling it a day there. I'm kind of off this deck. I might be done here. If we just get like toasted again here, I might just be done. Like, we're bad against tokens, we're bad against control decks. Like, this feels pretty bad. There is an show all game modes toggle in the upper right hand corner of the screen, which enables things like the best of 3 ladder. So I'm just playing on the ladder, but there's a best of 3 mode. I don't even think it's about dual color stuff. I just feel like the size of the deck that we're playing just like isn't in a good spot in the format. Again, just because like this is an aggressive deck that's just like smaller than my opponent's aggressive decks and just gets punished by the control deck sweepers. This deck gets hosed by both Deafening Clarion and Ritual of Soot, which feels pretty bad, man. If you're too poor to play Arena, you're definitely too poor to play Magic, because this game is way cheaper than Paper Magic, unless you're borrowing every card that you play for Paper Magic. This is such a good block for us. This card's been really impressive. I don't like the core of this deck, but Integrity, and whatever this back half is, Integrity Intervention's been really good. To flip this Legion landing next turn, which is great. Cheaper than paper magic is like saying, like, smells better than diarrhea. It's just like, well, I mean, that's technically correct, but just like, it's not something worth mentioning. I'm really off this deck. This felt pretty bad. It's late. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up for the night. We're in a little bit late with Pirates, and this deck smells like poop, so I think we've got a couple of Boros Angels lists in the queue, and Marty donated to bump one of those up, so I'll probably get to one of those this weekend, unless large amounts of Democracy for other decks end up pouring in. But again, this kind of smaller red-white deck, I kind of feel like I'd rather just be like going bigger rather than doing this. So that's gonna be it for me tonight. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is approximately 10 hours from now for those of you that are not in the cornfields, with some more Modern. And I'll be back with some more Standard on Arena later this weekend. Remember, if you haven't caught a bunch of my Standard content, you want to see more of it, everything goes up to my YouTube channel. I'm going to publish there on the first video that I hear momentarily. So everybody have a good evening, and thanks for watching.